Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, February 21st, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. We got more Google search ranking volatility heating up right now. Google's Jeff Dean spoke about merging Google search with in-context LLMs, tons of Google AI news and Google Ad news, and so much more. So definitely stay tuned. You don't want to miss this one. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Wix. Check out all the cool stuff that Wix does for the SEO community at the Wix SEO Hub and their different platforms that they have out there for you guys. Thank you, Wix, for sponsoring. Okay, first let's get into the Google search ranking volatility. It wouldn't be a week without it, but honestly, it's been almost 2 weeks since they actually reported on a Google search ranking volatility report. It's usually we cover like 1 or 2 a week, and it was like a lull point, a calming point for about almost 2 weeks, maybe like 11 days or so. I think the one before that, we called it around the Super Bowl time. So it's been a while. And now we do have another big Google search ranking volatility. Unconfirmed. Google did not confirm this one, of course. But there is definitely a lot of volatility. I reported it yesterday when the chatter in the SEO community was kind of lull. But throughout the day, a lot of people are saying, like me too, I've been noticing a significant amount of ranking volatility. The tools themselves are spiking. I actually updated the tools this morning before I actually recorded this video. SEMrush is in the heated zone. Advanced Web Ranking, Mozcast is pretty high. Cognitive SEO, which all these tools are pretty much high. Not all of them, but most of them. And there's a lot of chatter. There are some speculation and rumors that whatever hit on the Super Bowl weekend, like February 4th or so, that weekend, some of those saw reversals. Of course, I'm still analyzing that to see if that's true, but a lot of sites that were hit were not hit before, and a lot of sites that were rewarded were not rewarded before as well. So if you definitely noticed a lot of volatility over the past couple of days, starting Wednesday, Thursday, and today, Friday, you are definitely not alone. Definitely check it out. On the update side, Joy Hawkins and her team at Sterling Sky said, and this is an interesting theory, she's calling it the diversity update, the Google local diversity update, where if you are in the local pack, in that URL in your business profiles in the local pack, then that URL will be removed from the actual core web results. Now, I can't replicate this, and Joy said, don't be surprised if you can't replicate this. We're tracking this across thousands of data points, and you're not going to be able to replicate it across all of them, but she's seeing this in a significant amount of places. Now, again, I asked a bunch of local SEOs. They're not seeing this as well. But this is an interesting theory. Google had this with featured snippets where if you showed up in the featured snippet, that URL would not show up in the first page of results. It might show up in the second page of results, but not in the first page of results. They call it like a diversity type of thing. Now, Joy is saying the same thing is happening in the local pack. I don't know 100%. I can't replicate this. But if you are noticing this, there are people who are seeing this as well. And you should definitely get in touch with Joy, who's been talking about this. Google's head of AI, Jeff Dean, spoke on a podcast with Mr. Patel, and he was interviewed by them, and also Noam Shazer from Google. And one of the questions was about merging Google search with LLMs in context learning. And he spoke about how wonderful that would be, but it's really, really hard because all of Google search is indexed and constantly being updated. It's infinite, and to store all those things into tokens is really, really complicated and really, really requires a lot of data storage and a lot of processing power. And he goes through this in really detail. It's definitely worth watching if you're into this, like the future of Google search. I posted about it on February 17th at seroundtable.com. Thanks to Darwin and Dijon for highlighting that. I wouldn't have noticed without you guys, so thank you. Google Lens, Google announced a bunch of things around Google Lens. One is the AI overviews will be showing up more often in Google Lens results, which is a big deal, I guess. And two, Chrome and Google's iOS app for iOS, both, will now let you search the screen using Google Lens. You have to click on the 2 dots, and it will then say, do you want to search a screen? And you say yes. But that's a new feature coming to iOS for the Chrome app and for the iOS Google Search app. Keep in mind, they're not calling it circle to search for some reason. I'm not sure why, but that is interesting. Also on the AI news is that with Google Ads, you can now use Google's generative AI to not just create images for your campaigns, but also create images with people and faces. Before you weren't able to use that, and now Google will show you photorealistic images of people and faces smiling, all that type of stuff that actually encourages people to click through. There are other news here as well where Google also announced asset audience recommendations and asset testing for feed-only performance campaigns, performance max campaigns. So definitely take a look at that. A lot of cool stuff around AI with ads. Also on the AI news is Google Business Profiles. When you create posts in them, you can actually upload images, and Google will use AI to go ahead and generate better background images for those images that you upload. It's cute. Not sure if I use it too much, but it definitely does help small businesses that want to create a better photo for maybe a product or for, well, they had it for products already, but more for posts. So if you upload something for posts and you want to create a nice background images for that, you can go ahead and do that. Also on the AI news, Google's top store quality pages, they have individual landing pages for top quality stores. Now they will sometimes generate AI-generated review summaries for the reviews you have there. So if you have tons of reviews on your retail store, Google will then be like, let's summarize those using AI, which I think is a cool thing. This is spotted by Sachin Patel. I could definitely replicate this, so this seems to be fully live, but it is pretty cool. And then I think finally on the final AI news is that for Google Merchant Center, they now have AI-generated summaries for advice on what you should do to improve your Merchant Center performance. Again, this is spotted by Sachin Patel, and it's pretty cute. Here's a screenshot of that in action. John Mueller gave some SEO advice this week. He said that there's no persistent shortcut to faster crawling. But what he's saying is that you can't go ahead and press a button or do some type of a secret to go ahead and improve your crawling to make everything faster overnight. Yes, there's technical stuff that you could do and make sure your site's fast, and that's all the basics. But you can't just like add a meta tag or whatever. Google wants to crawl stuff. Even if you have a really fast site and your content stinks, Google's not going to want to crawl it. You need to do everything to make sure Google wants to crawl your content faster, and there's no shortcut for that. You got to just do everything, which is the way Google is these days. Martin Splitt from Google gave some advice around SEO as well, saying in a short video, the question was, will adding audio version of your blog page or article make any impact on ranking in Google search? And he said, unlikely. And basically, it's good for users, but it really won't have any impact on SEO, so audio versions don't really help with SEO. And then John Mueller went back and asked about pagination. People are like, do you need to do anything special for pagination? John Mueller's like, no, there's nothing special you need to do for pagination. And he goes off on a rant and so forth. And John basically said, I don't think a search engine needs to do anything special for pagination. Why shouldn't a URL just be a URL? And he goes off and goes back to the whole debate around 2019 when Google removed rel next prev and a set. Basically, if you have something unique on a page, even if it's deep into like page 5 of that pagination scheme, Google should be able to find it, and you shouldn't canonicalize to the main page, to the main first page of that set. Let Google crawl like anybody would crawl, and it will be fine. Let's go on to the Google Ads news. Google added a bunch of ad news outside the AI stuff, which we covered before, that responsive search ads, second headlines can now show up in Sitelinks. Basically, Google's going to use predictive models to say if one of your second or test headlines will perform well in the Sitelinks section, Google will use that. Now, Google previously would not show these headlines in Sitelinks, but now they are going to use it for RSAs if they think that replacing one of your Sitelinks will actually, with one of your headlines, will actually improve the performance using the predictive model. So that's big news there. A lot of Q&A around that, and I posted about this morning on Search Engine Roundtable. Also, this is spotted by Brent Neely, who I found via Adrian Decker, where Google has this new advanced plans section in the Google Ads console. It's a new advanced plans. This is a new advanced plans section at the Reach Planner. It shows you how to spend your budget and create conversions to capture them. This is interesting. Here's a screenshot of that. I'm not able to replicate that, but something you should keep and consider. Google Ads will also stop by default showing ads in your park domains. Google did this with new campaigns, new advertisers, where new advertisers will automatically not opt in to showing their ads on park domains. And now even existing advertisers will have to actually specifically opt in to show their ads on park domains. By default, it will turn everything off, and you can go ahead and have to do that. Google sent out an email to advertisers who will be impacted, so keep that in mind. On the local side, Google Business Support, business profile support seems to be backlogged. Ayman Ali and Sherry Benelli went ahead and posted a message in the Google support forum saying it's backlogged, so if you want to go ahead and get your verifications done or reinstatements or have technical issues, you might have to wait a while to get support in the Google Business support channel. It takes a while. Keep in mind it's backlogged. Also, Google Business Profiles has a new, I thought new, but it's not really that new, verification failure email with reasons on why your verification failed. Here's some screenshot of that. I spotted this via Ben Fisher and Henry. So thank you so much for sending these emails over. Pretty interesting. Google on the user interface side is testing a new grid box design. This is spotted by Juan Gonzalez Villa. A bunch of screenshots of that, then a bunch of other people found this. This seems to be in the EU, where they're boxing in these types of designs for the Digital Markets Act. Not sure how widespread this is. I'm not able to replicate this, but a lot of people are seeing this in the EU regions. Google's testing a new background section for like a news box where it shows like these are background articles. This reminds me of like by context, again, spotted by Sachin Patel. A nice find there. And then Google has this new snippet feature called Page Includes. This is spotted by Brody Clark on SERPs Notes. And it says this page includes. This reminds me of like the tag section we saw back in 2021, 2019, and 2017. So that's a pretty nice find there by Brody as well. And that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com over the past week. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks to Wix for sponsoring, and see you guys next week. Bye-bye.